Bonjour. This lesson is going to be on être, which means to be. If you're familiar with Spanish, then you know that this is going to look it's going to be very much like estar, which also means to be in Spanish. To be is an extremely important verb in English. It is equally important in French. You will not even be able to say things in the past if you cannot remember this in the present. So you really need to concentrate on memorizing this as soon as possible. And to do that, you're going to use this table, which you should be familiar with. You should already know in your head which subject pronouns go where. I'm not going to write them again because you should know this is je. This is where I goes. If your subject in the sentence is you, that's where it goes here. This is the verb you will use and they will match together, kind of like a puzzle. Okay, so if you don't know your subject, you will not be able to choose what verb to use. That's what conjugation is. We do that in English all the time. We say I am, not I is. So if you know what your subject is, you should know what verb to use. Same thing with French. You need to know what part of the table to use based on what you are trying to say. So we're going to put the verb in and you will know, oh, if I am saying I am, then I'm going to use this. But if we're saying you are, then we're going to use this version. Because in case you forget, that's what to be is. Not I to be happy, it's I am. You are, he is, we are, you, plural are, they are. Okay, that's what to be is in English. That's how we conjugate it. And you do that without even thinking. French, it might take some thinking at the beginning. So, let's fill in our box. Suis. Je suis. Okay, that's a you. Okay. I am. Je suis. Suis. We do not pronounce the S at the end. Tu es. We're not saying S or A, Je suis, tu es, il est. So these two sound identical, except we have a T here. Nous sommes. And again, if you've learned Spanish, if you speak Spanish at home, then you know somos, nosotros somos. Same thing, we have some. We do not pronounce the ES. We're not saying somes. Okay? Some, almost like the sum total of something. Some. Vous êtes. Okay? Give one a little chapeau. And look how we have an ES and an ES here. Normally, we will not have ESs on either of them for a lot of other verbs that we will learn. So it's very important to remember vous êtes it has an ES, okay? Vous êtes has an ES. And then il or elles sont. Sont. We're not pronouncing the T. There are times when we will pronounce it, but not right now. Sont. Je suis, I am. Tu es, you are. Il est, elle est, on est. He is, she is, one is, or again, remember I said on could translate as we, so it could be we are, but you're using the on est. Nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, or elles sont, they are. Okay, so some important phrases to remember now that we know this is if you see c'est, it means it's, it is. Or if you see ce sont, that's these are or those are. So if you're asking what is it? Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is it? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Or it is. Then you can say c'est une pizza. It's a pizza. Right? We're going to say c'est. Ce sont des pizzas. These are pizzas. You might also see, so qu'est-ce que c'est? And we'll flip it. qu'est-ce que c'est? And technically that means what is it that it is? Or we have s, literally is it. So we're going to take this verb and this verb here. We can put them we can put them in a phrase, and it's important that you still recognize it. It still is here. Now, if we want to give a command to someone and say, be nice, be nice, notice how we said that in English. We didn't say, are nice. Remember, I am, you are nice. I said be. I used something different than what we normally do in the regular present tense. That's going to be the same thing in French. If I'm going to tell someone to be nice, I'm going to say sois. And it might seem unnecessary right now, but this is going to come into play later on. And the sooner you realize that this is close to être, the easier things will be later on. We're laying the foundation. And the stronger your foundation, right, like the better your house is going to be later on. If you get a shaky foundation, it doesn't matter if you're only going to take French for 1 year or 2 years. If this foundation is shaky, the rest of the year will be shaky as well. Make sure we get all these basics down. Okay, so sois, be nice. That's if I'm talking to one person, but if I'm talking to a group of people, soyez, I'll say soyez. And now we have this easy, and that's going to come into play a lot more for other verbs. So those are it's the same verb, it is to be, but we're using it in a different way, which means we need a different spelling. So again, je suis, I am, tu es, you are, il est, he is, elle est, she is, or it, on est, one is, or sometimes we are, nous sommes, we are, vous êtes, you are, ils sont, they are, elles sont, they are, feminine. Notice how I said vous êtes, and suddenly I have a Z in here. And I told you not to say vous before I said vous. So that is our liaison when we make a connection between two letters, a consonant and a vowel, when normally we would not make that connection. When we would normally not pronounce this letter. So normally this is vous. We do not pronounce the S. And this is et. Okay? But if we have this consonant and it's followed by a vowel, this consonant, specifically the S, and it's followed by this vowel, we will make a liaison and we will pronounce it as a Z. Vous êtes. Now, if I did not have a vowel here, I would not be pronouncing this S. The only reason I'm pronouncing this is because I have a vowel. Vous êtes. Okay? So that's it for our être. Make sure you memorize that, and because we will be using it very frequently.